Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video I wanted to talk about matchups. What make a bad matchup, right? Because matchups in general are highly theoretical. We are assuming that these two characters are being played by players of the high skill level. Let's say they played a first to 10 set. In a situation like that, if we have two characters here like Mika and Ryu, we are gonna assume that Mika is expected to win 3 or 4 matches and Ryu is expected to win 6 or 7 of these 10 matches, right? That's because, like I said, it's a lot of theory, right? There's a lot of prerequisites to that. Now, when we talk about two different characters of completely different archetypes and strengths and weakness and all of that, we have to think, alright, these two characters obviously have different high points, right? So let's say we are at this full screen situation. At this position, which character is favored? What are Mika's options? At best, the only thing she can do is either block or charge her V-skill. Obviously, this can be punished by other characters. On the other hand, Ryu can simply stay full screen and chunk fireball, right? So here, while Mika can't even toss her mic and be completely safe, or could be difficult for her, Ryu is a lot safer. He's building special bar, he's building turn super, so the full screen is a favorable position to Ryu. So we will move to around the jump distance, right? And when we are at the jump distance, Ryu still have the fireball and uppercut game. Now Mika have the charger drop kick, Mika have the jumping option, Mika have the jumping splash. She kinda have the option to slide, but it is still you need to be a little bit more close for that. And maybe whiffing a crouching heavy punch into a command grab, right? These are the typical Mika options from this range. So she does have a bunch of options once we are in the jump distance. However, we also have to see that Ryu have the safer options, right? The only risk Ryu can take here is just throwing a fireball and that fireball happening to get jumped, right? But all of the Mika options are risky. The drop kick is risky because this can get V-shifted or it can get buried. The jump can get anti-air. The splash, she will get full combo punished. Dashes can get checked, and crouching heavy punch can get whiff punished. So full screen, Mika loses. Jump distance, Mika loses. Let's say we are at the dash distance here, right? Which character is also expected to win? Now Mika from this distance has a standing medium punch, and this one is really great. And she have crouching medium kick, which is a good poke, and forward medium kick, which is really nice. But Ryu have a much better crouching medium kick. His fireball is really good. He does have a crouching medium punch, which is fantastic from this range also. So from this distance, Ryu actually have a lot better options, right? Even the solar plexus, crouching medium kick fireball, the EX fireball. He has a faster dash, and because he is playing the defensive game, it is easier for Ryu to dash in, right? And obviously, if Mika here happen to jump, she will cross over him, and he will have to cross cut DB, which obviously is a really good option for him. Mika will have to waste an EX bar for an EX wingless or jump back jab, so she does have to spend just to deal with the jump from this distance. So also from this range, Ryu is expected to win. So from the dash range, Ryu wins. From the jump range, Ryu wins. From the full screen, Ryu wins. Right? Now the only range that Mika is better at is the point blank range. Once we are here, she does have a really good pressure game. She have a lot of her normals. She has the command grab, which is a much powerful offensive option than most of what Ryu have, right? Her frame data, depending in regards to block strings and all of that, Ryu is better also, but she have a much better, she have a much scarier pressure at this range, right? So this is where Mika wants to be. The issue here is, like I said, to get to that point, Mika have to consistently take risks, right? So this means that Mika have an issue getting in, right? This is kind of difficult for her. Now, does this mean that it's a completely mad matchup? Not yet. Let's talk about the offense of Ryu and the offense of Mika, the defense of Ryu and the defense of Mika. Once Mika knocks down Ryu, let's say she goes for the grab, she does have to take another risk, right? Certainly, if she wins for a regular throw, she doesn't get okay. Unlike Ryu, who gets a crushing medium kick shit or standing heavy punch shit, she can't really take OK from her regular throws. So for Mika to sustain her pressure, she have to command grab, right? And obviously if you happen to command grab again and then try to command grab on wake up, here you eat a full combo punish. So this means that for Mika it's undesirable to go for the regular grab, right? You wanna go for the command grab to simply sustain your turn. You went through so much risks just to get in, and once you are in, you still have to take risks, right? So Mika's pressure game is obviously risky by nature, while with Ryu, once he's actually in, he pretty much have never to take any risks on his pressure, right? Like what his Ryu pressure is gonna be like mediums, he can hit confirm stuff, then go for the grab, again, you obviously get a check afterward here. Let's say for example that like Mika even blocked everything. Let's here have Mika block everything. Let's say Mika blocked everything, Ryu went for her box tree. Now he pushed her back to a neutral that he wins, right? So even if he didn't happen to capitalize off of the pressure sequence, he still wins, right? It still resets to a situation that is favorable to him. So the offense and defense is in Ryu's favor, the neutral is in Ryu's favor. This is what makes it a bad matchup, in my opinion, right? You have to think about the character like Mika who have to consistently take risks. Now, does this mean that Mika can never win? Absolutely not. Like, if you have the better neutral, you can out-neutral Ryu, and like I said, if you happen to have the reads, you can win. But no matter how good you are, and no matter how bad the Ryu is, if it comes down to guessing every time and reads, you cannot simply, win all the time, and that's what makes it a bad matchup. One thing I have to absolutely mention, because this is a mentality that I have seen from many players, especially ones who are newer to fighting games, is that if the opponent have an answer to a tool you like to use, it doesn't make it a bad matchup. Let me show you one very common example that I see all the time. Let's say we are talking about Cody versus Sagat. If Sagat is throwing tiger shots, Cody here is in the dash distance. Obviously he can sway V-skill 2 and then kick Sagat with the kick follow-up, right? I've seen personally, and I know many Sagat players who think that this is a bad matchup simply because Cody can do this. I've also seen Ryu players think that way. So Cody have his way into kick, right? Which is a decent option, obviously. But you have to look at the follow-up and the reward, right? So here Cody does 80 damage and 150 stun, right? If Cody happened to double dash, he's -3. So he doesn't really get to get OK out of this. So his only reward is pretty much knocking you down and just gaining a little bit of screen. If you quick rise, he's not even getting much, right? And he doesn't get pressure out of it. Let's say for example here that you are the Sagat and you happen to land a tiger shot, right? So the tiger shot is 60 damage and 100 stun compared to Cody's 80 damage and 150 stun, right? You have to reconsider the tiger shots pretty much from this range are options with almost no risk whatsoever, while Cody have to do a reactionary option. Right? Now because Cody have to do something that works as a reaction, this means that you as the Sagat have more leeway with other options. Like for example, if Cody have to do it, and obviously like I said, this is only effective, like the sway kick is only effective from this distance, right? If Cody is from the jump range, if we are from the jump range, again he doesn't get to punish as you see. So it's only effective from the dash distance. And if we are in this dash distance, because Cody is focused on trying to sway the fireballs, this will mean that you as the Sagat will get away with throwing more normals, because obviously reacting to the fireball with the sway, this will take mental effort from the Cody player, right? And like I said, this is something that I've seen players do, but you have to really think about the bigger picture, think of the risk and reward, the mental effort and all of that stuff, knockdowns, which characters have the safer offense, which character has the safer defense. There is a lot that goes, there is a lot that goes into a matchup. Then, oh my god, Cody can sway my fireball, Cody's OB, this is a bad matchup, right? And I've seen this mentality with other characters. For example, I've seen many Honda players will tell you that Honda have a bad matchup if the opponent can punish medium punch headbutt, which is kinda ridiculous to be honest. So it is something that I really implore you guys to just check out. Try to look at it as objectively as possible and try to play the matchup to the best of your ability, right? Because maybe you are just not that good versus that specific character, and this happens. For example, me personally, right? I've known so many poison players who think that Urien is a bad matchup, yet I do really well against Uriens. Me as a player like Mura, I do well against Uriens. Doesn't mean that Urien is not a bad matchup, it's just that me personally am good against him. While on the other hand, I don't usually do well against Ed, right? Doesn't mean that Ed is a bad matchup, it just means that I personally don't do that great in it. And that is pretty much it. Try to look at the bigger picture, break it down more into pieces, which have to take more risks, what is the risk and reward and everything. There's a lot that goes into it than just this one character can counter my one specific move, so it's bad. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, it helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon page and the Discord server page in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.